Ian Traccia here for Discussions of Truth. I am in San Antonio, Texas. A developing story here with another mask incident on a major U.S. airline. I just got finished with Josh Yoder. I have an incident involving now Latinos for Trump and their film crew. What happened yesterday, Spencer and Travis? What happened yesterday as you boarded your flight, Spencer?
So we were just, everything went well getting on the plane, and we were just waiting for everybody to board. It's a pretty empty plane, so we're kind of shuffling around. You know, after everybody boarded, we kind of shuffled around, and that drew the attention of the flight attendant saying, "Oh, you can't sit in these seats, they're extra money, blah, blah." I was like, okay, we'll move over. You know, where can I sit? There's plenty of empty seats. We don't want to be crammed together. She said, go sit over behind this one gentleman in an empty seat, and it was totally cool, and she was just hanging out right there. And then so as we're talking about how stupid that was, and how stupid the mask is, and how stupid it is being told to, you know, constantly over the intercom, you know, to wear a mask, you know, the flight attendant was sitting there looking at the gentleman in front of me, and she kept pointing, you know, put your mask back over your nose because we're talking, and it kept falling down. And then so he did, and we're just laughing about how dumb it was.
You complied?
Yeah, complied, wearing a mask. We weren't being loud, we weren't causing a ruckus or anything like that.
You engage in argument with her?
No arguments, just sorry ma'am, like, you know, we're doing our best here and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we obviously all know this is dumb. Nothing, we weren't arguing with her, we weren't, you know, being rude or anything to her. And then
you're having a private interaction with another passenger.
Yeah, literally.
Raising your voice?
Nope, just talking through the seat. That's it. Talking through the two seats to talk to him so he could hear me. And then next thing you know, she walks away, and then in comes a manager and starts to, you know, tell the gentleman in front of me that he needs to come with her.
And he's a family man?
Yeah, well, he's there with his family. He's got, I don't know if it was his wife or girlfriend, but his two children were there and his friend. They rented out, they bought like 6 tickets or so, 5 or 6 tickets. And anyway, so we're just having this conversation. Then she comes up, asks him to leave, and he's like, "I'm not leaving. I paid for all of these seats. Like, why do you want us to leave? Why do you want us to leave?" They wouldn't answer. They just kept saying, "Come with us, come with us, you know, come with us." And then eventually she walks away, and then like 10 minutes goes by. We see the pilots leaving the cockpit, and then next thing you know, one of them comes onto the intercom and says, "All right, sorry everybody, we're gonna have to deboard. Everybody, you know, make your way to the front of the aircraft and you know, leave the aircraft." And as everybody's walking out, there's like 8 uniformed police officers in the causeway between the building and the airplane, and they grabbed.
Did you know why you were being deboarded?
No.
And you asked?
Not at this point. No, not at this point. I was asking, and so right when we got up to the police officers, they grabbed him. I started asking the officer that grabbed him, "Hey, what's going on? What's going on? Why is this happening?" You know, pretty much not answering me. We get to the exit of the causeway into the terminal, and they take him. He's right in front of me. They take him over to, you know, an area to talk to him, and then I was like, whatever, I'm getting my money back, this is ridiculous. And I tried to walk away, and the officer said, "No, you have to stay here, and you come over here and talk to us." And so after, you know, 10 minutes of speaking with them, asking them what's going on, telling them we weren't being rowdy, we weren't doing anything, like we were wearing our masks, we were having a conversation about how dumb it was, but we weren't just like, "No, I'm not gonna wear it, blah, blah, blah." We were doing what we were told, essentially. And after about 10 minutes of that, they just let us go. They just let us go after deboarding the whole plane.
So, did you ever get an answer as to why you had been apprehended by the police?
I mean, they were detaining us because they said we were causing a disturbance. Well, no, not even that. Not even that. The official police word was, "We are being detained for causing a disturbance." That's what it was. It was causing a disturbance. What the disturbance was, they didn't tell us, but it was causing a disturbance.
Okay. Now, Bianca, there's also something about an intoxication. So you have on video that the police have said something. What did they say about?
Oh yeah, they said so after 10 minutes of talking to the police, you know, because pretty much I said, "Am I being detained?" And they said yes. So that's now a legal thing that's happening. So I said, "What's the legal reason?" They said causing a disturbance. But at the end of the time talking to them, he said, clearly, or obviously, I believe the direct quote is, "Obviously, neither of you are intoxicated." And so I don't know if they were trying to link us being intoxicated to our conversation or what it had to do, but the disturbance technically was us having a conversation.
Okay.
That was the disturbance.
So do you feel that you were targeted for having a dialogue with this other passenger about not wearing a mask? Do you feel that this was offensive to the airline staff?
Exactly, because was also, you know, saying, keep your mask over your nose. Like, as we're talking, it falls down. And she's just, I don't even know why she was standing there. Like, I really don't. She was brought over there because I switched seats. Apparently, you're not allowed to do that on an empty plane. But then
she gave you permission.
But yeah,
to change seats.
But she pointed out a seat I could switch to, so we weren't sardine packed, and which was fine. And I went to that seat. But then she stayed there, and then, you know, we're laughing about just how dumb all of it is. Just all of this, the constant announcements, the constant, you know, over the plane intercom, please wear your mask. The only way it helps you is if you wear it over your nose and your mouth. You know, the same crap. That's, you know, it's all crap. So. But we weren't.
But you weren't calling it disturbance.
No, we were talking.
And you weren't arguing with any other passengers.
Literally not even talking to any other passengers. Not talking to any flight attendants. Not talking to anybody. We were literally just talking to each other. And next thing you know, they're asking him to get off the plane, and he's saying, "No, I paid for these tickets. I'm not getting off the plane." Yeah.
So you feel you were targeted for having a discussion about not wearing a mask, even though you're wearing a mask.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Now, here's another element that services who you have now your employer. In the sense of the person who's paid for the contract to hire you to do the film. This is Bianca Gracia. Bianca, what do you feel has happened here?
So I think that they were targeted. Number one, there's a couple of things that are crossing my mind. I had to come back and pick them up at the airport. They actually had sent me a picture because I said, make sure that you let me know you guys are on the flight, that everything's gone well, because they couldn't check in. They wouldn't let them check in. As we were coming to the airport, they had not checked in. And so they said, it just keeps giving us an unavailable whatever. And I'm like, you can't check in. So we were like, okay, this is crazy. But when they got here, then, you know, of course they said they left or whatever. And they sent me a picture and it was like them in the plane. And I was like, okay, good. You've made it on the plane. That plane is empty, you know, because Spencer sends me the picture. And I'm like, okay, good. Let me know when you guys get back safe. I contracted him to come out this whole week. Actually, we've been out in San Antonio filming, you know, for Latinos for Trump, Latinos for America First, and our heritage, our roots, all kinds of stuff. We're doing a documentary sort of thing.
Are these gentlemen Latino?
No, but they can be because we claim them. We don't really care if they're Latino or not. The point is, I bought the tickets. Now, when you pull up the reservation, it says Latino. The email goes to Latino Trump Coalition, so they can see that when they pull it up. So I don't really know if and I'm questioning whether Frontier Airlines, because what I do know is that they have to do a check for all of the passengers that are coming in, and they pull up your profile. So they saw Latino Trump Coalition and then just already had premeditated, targeted these two individuals that were going to be on the flight this evening.
They did have the seating charts.
Because they had the seating charts.
Well, in their hands too, like they knew exactly.
So they
knew exactly who everybody was.
So they do, and I know that they do that. And so I figured, I was like, did you get targeted because I bought the ticket because it says Latino Trump Coalition? And then, you know, so I'm really furious right now because they were deplaned, and I saw the video. He has it all on video. I saw the whole video. So Spencer recorded the whole thing. There was no altercation. They targeted a man and his family, okay, who's clearly either his girlfriend or his wife is Hispanic, okay? So they had been at this event.
And he's a white man?
Yes.
So the subject of all this is a white male?
Yes.
Yes. With a mask on.
Yeah, with a mask. They had their mask. Yeah, they all had their mask on. And so, and here they are, and I see the video because when they're getting questioned, I watched the whole video. When the gentleman is getting questioned, they got the kids there. I mean, these cops are, they're like if they just did some big, huge incident while we have illegals walking around the whole darn freaking airport being taken all over the place, but they're treating them like there's a big national incident. And so this is really pissing me off, right? So, I'm watching the video and I see this and I am like, you know, I'm infuriated. And so I had to come back and pick them up and take them back to the hotel so that they could have somewhere to sleep for the night, because they were not allowed to get back on the flight. And clearly the officer on the video says you're clearly not intoxicated or not, whatever. So I'm like, wait, how did the intoxication come in? Like, that's not what even the whole thing was about, because his conversation with a gentleman in front of him was about, we're just tired of being masked, but between themselves, not with the whole crew and not with every other passengers. It was a conversation between him and someone else, which you can have and you should have. You have freedom of speech, or so we think we do, but obviously we don't. And so Frontier, so here's even what pisses me off even more, okay, is that I'm like, you know what, hold on a second. We're going to go to the airport today because I said, we're going to go talk to them, and either you're going to get a flight back to Las Vegas or we're going to come get our money back. So we show up to the airport, and as you can see behind me, look at this. Nobody here. Thank you for choosing Frontier Airlines. Our agents will be available to assist you only 2 hours, prior to your scheduled departure time. So we go to the board there, and guess what? The board, yeah, over there, departures. There's only one Frontier flight that leaves at 9 p.m. every night. That's it. So we'd have to be here till 7 o'clock to talk to somebody, to address somebody. So it says if no one is here, you call the 800 number. So we've been sitting here already for what, 2 hours? We've called the 800 number that they tell us to call there. And needless to say, guess what they tell Spencer? It shows that you were boarded and doesn't show that you've ever were taken off the flight. There's no notes in the account. There's nothing in the account. So according to the flight, they are supposed to be in Las Vegas right now. Okay, so how do you lose passengers? Hold on a second. We have a federal problem here because you cannot say that there's passengers on your flight. That is a huge TSA problem, FAA problem. Okay, we need to be calling the FAA actually now because they're claiming these gentlemen were on the flight and they weren't. What if something had happened to that flight and you think that these two gentlemen are on the flight and you haven't documented? You have not documented that they were not on the flight. In fact, you claim that they did fly. Somebody has to answer some questions. Need help? Really? With a question mark. Yeah, I'd say we need help. We sure do. And as the president of Latinos for Trump and hiring my film crew here, I'm extremely pissed off right now because I really feel that they were targeted either because of their conversation that made someone feel uncomfortable, which is a flight attendant. Okay, a personal conversation between
Attendant Tyranny.
Yes, between two passengers, or you saw Latino Trump Coalition on the reservation and you decided to target them already before anything happened. You knew you were going to do something to them. So maybe they were sitting together and you went after the man in front of him, but really for Spencer, or you were doing something that you weren't supposed to do. The whole point of it is here that now we have a flight that shows on the manifest that there was two passengers on it.
It's more than that.
That there was not.
There's no record at all of anybody being deplaned.
Yeah.
There's no record of every single person on that flight was asked to get off the flight. There's no record of that at all. So.
And how do you know that?
Well,
because you just called.
Yeah, there's no...
Do you have a recording of that?
Yeah, we have a recording of us calling him and him confirming there's no record of anybody being taken off the flight.
So we're awaiting a self-testimonial from the man that is the subject of this, the man that was taken off the flight. You two were involved, and we'll get your angle in a second here. You two were involved, but this man named Nick, he and his family were the target of all of this. And it seems to be because of a conversation over your dissatisfaction and his dissatisfaction, two Americans with free liberties, over wearing masks. And now
we have a lot of questions.
Now
and
Bianca,
no one is here to answer.
Yeah, that's
no
the biggest problem. No one's here to answer. There's no record of anybody. So I mean, and they pulled me aside.
This gentleman here, what is your experience? You're working with Spencer.
Yeah, Bianca.
Your name is what now?
My name is Travis, and also working with this project. But I was about 10 seats in front of this whole incident. But long story short, for me, I didn't get to witness right in front of me exactly what happened at the back of the plane. But what I did witness is the fact that one or two flight attendants had one issue with one or two people on a plane, had enough power with their opinion to pull out 8 cops, deplane the whole plane, and grab whoever they wanted to grab. And the issue that I have with all of this is nobody but a few people stood up for this man and his family. This stuff has got to stop. It's done. We have to, like, this has got to stop. They sent no investigation.
Yeah.
Flight attendant tyranny?
Yeah.
They sent no officer to investigate the other side of the story. Right there it's one-sided. That's all there is to it. And literally we have, our freedom of speech is going to be impinged on because of a flight attendant's opinion? It makes no sense. This is insane.
So final comments, Spencer, final words. You were escorted off a plane,
Yeah.
facing possible arrest for no apparent reason.
Facing possible arrest, being detained by 8 police officers while they, conduct an investigation when no other people were interviewed, no other witnesses were interviewed. It's literally, the point is, it's flight attendant tyranny, and we're all recognizing this. We're all seeing this everywhere we go. It's evolving from just simply put on your mask. It's going to do as I say, do exactly what I say, or you're going to be fined. You're going to be put in jail. I have the ultimate power because it's constant threats. You guys hear it too. You hear it too. All flight. It's federal violation to do this. It's against federal law if you don't listen to us. You could be subject to fines, and they're handing out unconstitutional fines all the time. I mean, I'm hearing of people getting fined $50,000 for not wearing a mask. I've heard of even more than that.
But you were wearing a mask, clearly, yesterday.
But that's what I'm saying. But that's just what it is. Like, this is what it all encompasses. Is
you can't even now talk about not wearing a mask. Is that what you're saying?
Flying used to be fun. Flying used to be a good time. It's not anymore. We got to take our shoes off like we're in prison. Just going through security here. I opted out of the little, machine thing that you do this and they just, whatever that does to you. I opted out of that to go through the metal detector. They didn't even take me through the metal detector. They brought me around all of it and patted me down, like, very lazily. I was telling the guy, I literally told the guy, I was like, I could be hiding a gun in my butt cheeks and you wouldn't even know right now. And he just laughed about it. I was like, so this is all just a big joke then. So why are we subjecting ourselves to this? Is it a conditioning? Is it a social conditioning? I don't know what's going on. I mean, why are we forced to go through all of this just so we can go fly to a different city? I mean, are we that scared? Like, what's the point? Are we just going to keep giving these people more and more power until they're walking around with handcuffs and their keys clanking between the aisles, between all the chairs, and just pretty much with a billy club in their hand? Is that what we want? Is that what we're going to do in our airports now? Are we going to give these people that much power that they can essentially kick everybody off of a plane, ruin everybody's schedule, and then not even make a note of it and just pluck people out of the crowd and say, you did something wrong, so now you're going to be interviewed?
Not just ruin someone's schedule, Spencer. They are now costing me more money because now there is no flights to get them home until tonight at 9 o'clock, and I cannot be here till 9 o'clock or 7 o'clock tonight. I got to get home because I have a family, and so now I'm going to have to drive them with me to Houston to get them on a flight now from Houston to go to Las Vegas, which is going to cost me more money, which I already had thought everything was okay because we were already paid for all these flights. Everything was supposed to be fine until now we're left with one flight tonight, and I need to get them home. I need to get home, and I have looked up every single airline that's flying out of San Antonio right now, and every single airline right now to get them home today would be $2,000 one way for each one. This is ridiculous. Frontier, you will pay for it. You will refund me my money plus some for the embarrassment, humiliation. You will publicly apologize to our Latino Trump coalition, to our Latino Trump organization for putting my film crew through what you've put them through. You will have something to say about it.
Travis, some final thoughts and closing comments, please.
I kind of yelled at the passengers yesterday for people, either they continue to stand up or we're going to continue to be subjected to for stuff like this. A man and his whole family was deplaned yesterday because of an opinion. This is what tyranny is. It's time to stand up, people. That's all there is to it.
Ian Gracia here for Discussing the Truth, and Travis, Spencer, and Bianca, thank you very much.
Welcome.
And
Thanks, Ian,
let's get this message out, folks.
Thanks.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Ian. And we've got all the he's got all the film. He's got everything documented from when it started to when it ended.